So welcome to Smartboard version 11.4. You can download it through the Smart website. You want to make sure you choose 11.4 and you don't need a code or anything in order to activate it. So this is it. This is the notebook opened up. When you attach your computer to a Smartboard computer, you will be automatically attached and you can just start picking up the pens on the board and start drawing. When you open up the notebook, which is what we're going to focus on today, you'll have a whole set of tools that you can use. So right here, the notebook has a menu, and you can go through your slides up here. This is adding a page, so if you wanted to add a blank page, you just click on that and you'd get it. Clicking back and forth between these tabs, between these squares right here, will get me from one page to another. I can do a full screen mode if I'd like, up here. I can also do a dual page display, which I'll show you in a little bit. But here we are. One of the things we can do on a Smartboard is we can simply write. There's a number of different pens we can choose. But if we do just use a regular old pen, what I can do then is I can go back to my mouse, which is this little arrow, the select key, and I can highlight any text that I've drawn and click on the drop down, and I can recognize it. And it would change it into regular text if you would like. You can do that with the whole entire page. If you had stuff written on it, you'd be able to select it all and recognize it all, and it does a pretty good job of recognizing text. You also have a calligraphy pen, a crayon, a highlighter, creative pens, which the kids seem to like. They're very cool. And we also have something called, a magic pen. A magic pen does one of three things. If you use the magic pen, after 10 seconds, it will disappear. All the text will disappear. So if you wanted to make an annotation that you didn't want to hold on to, you can just use the magic pen and there it goes. If you draw a square, let me see if I could do this well, it will enlarge anything inside that square, and I could make it larger or smaller just by clicking and dragging my arrow, and I could exit out up here. And then if I create a circle, it has to be a good circle, there we go, I can highlight, I can focus in on any piece of the screen that I'd like to focus in on. And then again, to get rid of it, I would just click the X. I can change colors, I can change my line style, I can do all that up there. You can also record on a page, and you would do that by clicking on the fourth tab over here and going to page recording. Now when I start recording, anything I draw will be recorded. So if I click start and I draw a circle, which my magic pen is not very good, so let's just change the pen real quick. It's all recording this stuff, and I can draw a big high, and then I could stop my recording, and then I can come down here and I can play it. See, there we go. It will only record whatever's on the screen. It will not record your voice, but if you did want to record your voice, you can go into the Smart tools located in the menu, and there is a screen recorder. There are other tools to do that as well. You can also take pictures. There's a little icon right up here, screen capture, and your little toolbar will come here. You can open up anything on your computer with this toolbar, and you'd be able to take a picture of it. So if I clicked on this first one and I wanted to just take a picture of this little piece of the screen, I could do so. It would click, it would take a snapshot, and it would bring it into my Smart notebook. I can do that on the internet, I can do that on a screen, I can do it on the whole screen, I can do it on part of the screen, I can do whatever I want. This first icon will just take a picture of the square you choose. The second one will take a picture of the program that you're in. The third one is your whole entire screen. And the fourth one is a non-square or rectangular shape. You can also copy an image somewhere on the internet by right-clicking. There is a button on your Smart board. If you touch it, it looks like a little mouse. If you touch it, the next tap on your board would be a right-click, and then you'd get the same right-click options that you would on any PC. There's also math tools, and you can see the math tools up here, measurement tools. You have these four, so you can always bring these out and use them if you're a math teacher. We have screen shade option. Let me get rid of this. Screen shade option is right here. If I click on it, I can have it appear or disappear, and once I have it appear I can drag any part of the screen I want to just show a piece of it. And I can use this in the Smart Notebook, and you can use it outside of the Smart Notebook as well, and it's again in the Start menu. You can also use shapes, and you can cover things up. We have shapes right here. I can choose whatever shape I want. And right now it's clear, but if I click on my paint bucket, I can choose a color, and I can fill it up. Once I fill it up, I can go back to my mouse, this arrow, I can cover things up. So here, I have a picture, and I have some squares, and I can just move the squares around so we could look at different pieces of the picture without focusing in on the whole thing at once. We also have something called Infinite Cloner, and this is really cool. If you click on an item, you can bring out images. I can click on the drop down and I can make it infinitely cloned, and once I do that, I can take as many of these as I want. So this is really good for money, or if you had a few terms and you wanted students to match up sentences with those terms, grammar, you know, sometimes similes and metaphors, stuff like that. You can do whatever you want with it. Now Smart has a bunch of stuff in the notebook already. It's in this second tab. You have the Gallery Essentials and Lesson Activity Toolkit. I'm just going to go through some of the items. These coins I found in there. We have backgrounds, we have states. I put in this information here, but if I click and I go to my dual page display, I can actually see two screens at once. That might be helpful in a case like this. I'm going to put it back onto a single page display. We have different timers, and then we have all these other activities that some of them you can use as is, and then some of them you can edit as well. And these are not only for, these are for different subject levels. Sometimes it's just getting ideas as to what you can do for your classroom. This is very popular. Sometimes people use this for attendance as well, and you can make your own balloons. When you tap them, it will tell you if it's correct or incorrect, or if you're just taking attendance, it could just have an image underneath it. You can also use colors in Smart. So if you put your text and your background is the same color and then put a different color over it, you'll be able to see what's behind it. Another popular activity is the vortex, and you can create these, and all that you would do is you would set up the images or the text and the two categories, and then you would put it into one or the other, and it would either accept it or reject it. You can also create an activity builder, and that is done in this fifth tab. And what you would do is you would click on your item right here, and then you drag in what is accepted, and then you can drag over what is rejected. So this is a pan. If we wanted to bring over, if we wanted to ask the students what you would put in the pan, you would accept the maybe the lettuce, I don't know, definitely the carrots, the cauliflower, the mushrooms, and then you can reject everything else. And you can create that activity all by yourself. You don't have to download it from anywhere else. We have some other cool things here. If you click on some of these links, if you go to some of these links, these will let you create animated text, different versions of animated text. And they're pretty interesting, and I'll have those links outside as well. You can also insert a browser right inside your notebook, and you just go to Insert and Web Browser, which would show up. Internet browser right here. And then you can browse within the Smart Notebook. You don't have to go external. Finally, there are tons and tons of lessons out there on the web. Tech has some, and Smart Exchange has some as well. And you can go there and you can search by standard. You can search by Common Core standard, and there will be a lot of examples there. Some of them are good, some of them are okay. You know, you could just go through them. Sometimes you can just get an idea. You can bounce off of it. You can download templates of Jeopardy and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all that kind of stuff that's already created, and then you'd put your questions inside. So there's a lot of different activities that are out there. You can always Google Smart Notebook, and whatever else, whatever term you're looking for, Shakespeare or grammar, you can see what's out there and you can download it and you can modify it as necessary. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You definitely want to use the smart board to create something that you couldn't do without the smart board. You want students to get up, you want them to be able to interact with it. That's some of the goals that you wanted to accomplish when you use the smart board. If you have any questions, please contact learning support at hofstra.edu and we will get back to you. Thank you.